Cars are out on track in Marrakesh. First qualifying period, 30 minutes long for the entire field, starting now, getting underway as everybody builds up to speed. Matt Neal, there's enough time here to have a good run and put in another one if you need to, but it's almost like it's potentially going to rain, because the chances of having a flag interrupt your qualifying lap are actually quite high. You need to get a lap in immediately if you can, right?
Yes, Martin. I mean, a street circuit is, you do have to be careful of that, because you can get your prime laps interrupted by someone else's misdemeanor. But with double the amount of time, with the 30 minutes, they have got the opportunity to really pick the moment. You see Mishigami just hanging back, trying to pick some track space, trying to maybe get a clear lap in. But you've got to watch that cars aren't on their out lap, warming the tyres up, or on their in lap, because a lot of this circuit is very blind. You're sitting very low down, very high walls. You're going to arrive on slower cars at a great rate of knots if you're not careful.
Tom Coronel pulls up behind the black Citroen of Rob Huff, being run by the All-Inkle team, after a couple of years running privateer cars for Rennie Munich, the team's owner, and last year for James Thompson. This year they have gone with a Citroen for Rob Huff, and he is absolutely going to be a championship contender unless something goes very, very wrong with the team and car, and that doesn't seem to be likely to be the case. Thiago Monteiro then, the first car on the road, 28.7 first sector. That's not as quick as we saw earlier on in free practice. Free practice 1 this morning started at 9 AM. Track temperature then was in the 20s. At 11:45 we started free practice 2. Track temperature there was probably close to 40 degrees. Track temperature now at 3:15 is closer to the mid-50s. So, Matt, it's going to be really hard work for the tyres, even with a fresh tyre on one lap. Yeah,
they're all going for it straight off, Martin. I mean, they've been coming past here like a rate of knots at the moment, so they're not hanging about. And Coronel, we saw trying to do a leech bit, dribbling on the back of the Huff, but Huff's having a very average first lap so far. It's Monteiro who's setting the pace fastest on both the first and second sectors at the minute.
Norbert Michaelis also second fastest in the second sector, ahead of Nestor Girolami, who also did a 29.2. Nestor Girolami in what will be his 4th World Touring Car weekend, but his second as a Volvo driver. So here's Rob Huff.
Now a strong first lap off Monteiro, but still he's a 22.4, and I don't think that's going to be quick enough for today. Whether it's quick enough to get into Q2 it's going to be there and thereabouts, but there's a lot of cars here which they're going to be knocking on the door of that time.
What will happen, of course, is that they are potentially going to get quicker into Q3, because they will have burned off half a dozen laps of fuel, maybe 8 or 9 laps of fuel, because they need to get that fuel in the car to run all the way through, potentially to the end of Q3. In front of us, as we ride with local hero Mehdi Banani, is one of 2 brand new drivers for the championship. Brand new drivers indeed to touring cars, full stop. Aurélien Panis, son of Olivier Panis, who's sitting in the French commentary booth for Eurosport alongside us. And a very proud day for his dad to see him in his first World Championship drive. Aurélien Panis in those lime green and grey colours of Zengo Motorsport. Zengo with the 2-car team for Panis and for Daniel Nagy. And Monteiro fastest of all, 1:22.6 last time round. Fastest lap though was the previous one, 1:22.4.
He must have had a big mistake in sector 3 on that one. He's lost it all. He's lost all and some in the sector 3.
Norbert Michaelis does not improve on his time as he comes into the pit lane, 1:23.2, and Aurélien Panis getting caught out by the bumps down at the end of the straight in the braking area. Look at the big dark stripe left by that locked up left front. And unfortunately, or fortunately for Mehdi Banani, he didn't hit him, but Aurélien Panis bringing out the yellow flags at sector 2. Rob Huff currently third fastest, and he is 0.3 away from second fastest. A whole second, though, off the fastest lap so far, and this is looking like a much more pedestrian effort. This is a cooling down lap. There's Peter Huff. Huff Mummy is here as well this weekend. A little bit of work going on there, rotating the tyres for Norbert Michaelis. 2 new fronts going on to the Honda. Esteban Guerrieri from Argentina, making only his second race weekend start in World Touring Cars. Raced in Termas de Rio Hondo last year. Nicky Katzberg and who's the other Volvo? Ted Björk is in. In fact, all 3 Volvos are in. Nicky Katzberg, Ted Björk and Nestor Girolami. There are only 2 cars on track. Make it 3 as Tom Chilton's on an outlap. John Philippi comes out as well. John Philippi, a new addition to Sebastian Loeb Racing's 3-car Citroën lineup. So SLR running John Philippi, new this year to the team. He was in a Campos Chevrolet last year, and they retain, or they have been retained by Mehdi Banani and Tom Chilton to run them as well. Royal Motorsport returned with Tom Coronel and the Chevy. Big update this year, Tom Coronel said, is they painted it rather than put a wrap on. Didn't stop him rubbing some paint off on the wall in Q2.
Michigami's Honda's still not been out, Martin, so...
Oh dear, well it is
got a little issue with that.
Still under a cover, is it? Yeah, it's on the apron, still under a cover. So, yes.
They are all running the new 2017 spec engine, which is incredibly new. It's meant to be incredibly good with its power and drivability, but just wonder what's happening with...
it's only good if it starts up.
Very true. And they have suffered with a slight oil leak on Norby's car in FP1, and Thiago's car was smoking a little in FP2, just very faintly, and I could see it smoking very faintly at the start of qualifying. So
yeah, and they also had Aurelien Panis missed the entire first session, didn't go out at all because the car had a water leak. So they have had to beg, borrow or steal a radiator from Yas. So Yas now have no spare water radiator.
I wouldn't imagine that Zenga are on the 2017 spec engine, though.
No.
Because they are so new and so short supply.
Yeah.
Whether they're able to, allowed to upgrade to them. Oh, here we go.
So Ria Michigami goes out just about the same time everybody else is about to go out for their second run. Tom Chilton is on a hot one. So Chilton returning to SLR this year, and he said 6 days of solid testing for the team this year with all the data from the factory, which they have not had access to before. And I said, well, so there's no physical upgrades to the car? No, but what they have got is all of this data from Ivan Muller and from Jose Maria Lopez and from Sebastian Loeb and what have you. 3 years of data from the factory. And he said, basically what we've done is we've then put all that into our data banks and gone, okay, so let's try that setup. Ooh, look what that does. And so they're learning so much more about the car now because of all of that information coming in.
Yeah, I was thinking he was looking at a good committed lap off Chilton, but he seems to have lost a fair chunk. He was very committed through sector 1, but then
he's waved this off, hasn't he? And I'm not
lost
sure why.
Lost a chunk in sector 2, whether he's going to knock it on the head and pull it back in. No, he's going to finish the lap.
He's going to finish the lap. Second fastest. Wow, that looked really pedestrian down the back.
Very strong in sector 3.
Okay, so why did it look so gentle? So Chilton goes second fastest. 61 is Nestor Girolami. 61, 62, 63 are the Volvos, who remain in every other way visually identical. So not quite sure how we're going to learn to separate them.
Girolami is on the out. Yeah, you've got to try and read the names on the windscreens and stuff.
Yeah, or the number, which isn't wildly visible either.
He's on the outside of the bubble at the moment, so
yeah,
this lap isn't, well,
yes,
it's a fairly strong lap.
Only the top 12 will go through. Girolami goes second. So he's into Q2 at the moment. We're only not even halfway through the session, though. Still remains another 15 minutes. Lot could change. Jan Elaka, 6th quickest in the Lada. Well, you know, it's not had a big upgrade of any kind, the Lada, since last year, but it was a race winner last year. It got into Q3 on numerous occasions. So the Lada is a quick little bunny.
It can be, Martin, but it is also a handful. You have to hang on to it.
And do you know what? Jan Olacker, that's a lot of commitment. Don't forget, you know, he's in a one-car team.
Yeah.
And he's on his own, and it's his first ever World Touring Car appearance. And, you know,
it's who you turn to. I mean, Hugo Vallant is a proven. He was very fast before last year. They put him in there expecting him to be one of the boys, and he just struggled with it all year. And you know, he can drive a car quickly, but with their experience, Katzberg managed to. He was just on fire in it, wrung its neck, and Gabriele Tarquini, obviously with his experience, he's driven everything good and bad over the years. So he knows how to handle stuff. But Vellante really struggled with it.
Well, Ria Michigami just about to set a lap. He's just done one out lap so far, and that is a 1 minute 25.0. That's 2.5 seconds away from the pace set by his teammate. Mehdi Banani comes across the line, a better lap, but remains in 4th place, 24 thousandths behind Ted Björk, who's 3rd for Volvo, who in turn is 16 thousandths of a second behind Nestor Girolami. So Thiago Monteiro is 24 hundredths ahead of everybody else, and 2nd, 3rd and 4th are covered by 4 hundredths of a second. Is that right? Yes, 24 to 28.
You do need your mirrors around here as well, because the traffic will come up on you very quickly. Just looking down at the timesheets, Tom Coronel's on the back end. He's right on the edge of that bubble he's in at the moment, but you know, one fell slip up, it's super close. There's like a 1/10 of a second covering a whole bunch of them back there. So,
and Esteban Guerrieri is only just in front of him as well. Remember when Guerrieri banged that lap in, it was good enough for 6th. Now it's only good enough for 11th. He's just gone 10th quickest as Tom Coronel loops it around again. So Coronel was on a quick lap, and as Nicky Katzberg went through, Coronel, oh, nope, didn't quite get the retardation he needed. Now, whether the pedal went long or whether he just went in a little deeper than previously, not too sure.
Pedal started shouting, I can't stop. Nicky Katzberg goes top of the tree.
Now, for those of you that haven't seen Ivan Muller recently, the Volvo engineer you just saw with the very big growth of beard, that's what Ivan Muller currently looks like.
He's like one of those Frenchmen who throw rocks for a living. That's what he looks like.
Wait, he's a Frenchman who throw rocks for a living? I thought that only happened in Monty Python films.
No, I think...
All right, okay.
Or is that Asterix I'm thinking of?
Are you thinking of Bull, do you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah, no, Ivan Muller looks like when he retired from racing, he also retired from shaving. Katzberg flying the Volvo over the curbs on his way to the fastest lap so far in the session. And only... okay, fastest lap is a 1:22.024 in qualifying. That's the qualifying record from last year. And that's a 1:22.2. We did actually get cars down to a 1:21 last year. We're being told on 4 new tyres. That's no surprise. You need that extra edge of grip, don't you, Matt, to really lean on the car the way that you need for qualifying.
Yeah, extra grip, extra confidence, Martin. Looks like Huffy's just sort of getting ready for a big flyer as he comes across the start-finish line now. So it'd be good to get off this Volvo and get on to Huffy and see what we can see of his lap.
Well, there you can see Aurélien Panis and Daniel Nagy. They are currently 14th and 15th, separated by 3/10. So Daniel Nagy starting to build up, or is he actually on a quick lap, and Aurélien Panis weaving and warming his tyres up, trying to get tyre and brake temperature and pressure where he wants them.
I want to see what Rob Huff's doing at the moment rather than watching the 2 Zenga Hondas. It's not a stellar first, it's okay. First sector for Huff, 29.0. But
don't think it's quick enough to threaten Katzberg at the moment.
Well, Norby in front of him has done a 28.6, so he's 4 tenths away from Norby in the first sector alone.
28.8.
Michaelis fastest second sector of all, so this is looking very good for Norby. And again, he and Thiago were right up at the top of the timesheets. Norby first, Thiago second in free practice 2. So Norby comes across the line with the new fastest lap. Ryo Michigami not far behind. Michigami 8th quickest. He moves up a couple of spots ahead of Rob Huff. Huffy, his lap enough to put him in front of Jan Erlacher in the Lada. And now he goes 4th quickest. So that was a better lap, but still 4 tenths away. Montero 3 tenths away now from the top. There's Rob's mum watching on from the All-Inkle Munich Motorsport Garage, as Norbert Michaelis and Nicky Katzberg are 1-2. Huff looks like he's pressing on with another one. This is Jan Erlacher, the young Frenchman, 20-year-old nephew of Ivan Muller and son of Cathy Muller. Cathy here, she used to run teams in the World Touring Car Championship, ran Seats for privateer driver Pierre-Yves Courtal from Belgium with her Hexagon engineering team, and she was the first team owner to run a young Moroccan driver who, whatever happened to him? What was his name? Mehdi Banani. There you go. There's the Ivan Muller beard comparison. Now, if you cover the top of your screen so you don't see his eyes, you would not know that was Ivan.
He shouted.
There's Cathy.
I just didn't recognise him.
Now,
straight through him.
Now, I haven't met the young lady beside Cathy Muller, but she clearly is Cathy's daughter. Either that, or they've 3D printed the Formula 3000 era Cathy Muller, because she is an absolute carbon copy of her mum.
Erlacher back in the pits.
Yep.
Just 3-4 cars on track now.
So Ted Bjerg with plenty of room to play with. 6th position at the moment, but Nicky Katzberg showed that a very low 122 is capable from the car. Bjerg's got a 22.7, Katzberg half a second quicker than his teammate. And Daniel Nagy, 12th position at the moment. Bjerg, green 2nd sector. Why is that the first sector? That's not showing on my time screen. My timing screen is taking its time to catch up with the telly. And Daniel Nagy is in Q2 at the moment, ahead of Tom Coronel, John Philippi and Aurelien Panis, who are not. And oh, Ted Bjerg's taken the mirror clean off. Now that's the first whole mirror we've seen taken away by the tyres.
He's certainly committed through there, isn't
he, though?
He was carrying some massive speed through the apex of that corner.
Yep. Ryo Michigami knocked the mirror. Tom Coronel knocked the mirror cover off. He took both mirrors off. I wondered if he'd hit that tyre stack on the left.
Yes, he has, hasn't he?
There's Volvo mirrors. None of the Volvos got any mirrors left. He's taken both of them off. One previously on the left and that one on the right. And the Volvo that was in front of him on the road, whoever that was,
I'll tell you what,
just had 2 stalks as well.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was him again, so there wasn't a Volvo in front of him. So, okay. Oops. All getting busy as Tom Coronel tries to leave the pit lane.
If there's any Volvos in the car park, they better watch their mirrors. Yeah. They'll be stripping them off in a bit.
You remember when Chevrolet had clear mirror covers moulded so that the drivers could place the car more accurately on the street circuits, so there wasn't a lump in their periphery. So it still had a tiny little piece of mirror inside it, about as much as your wife or girlfriend or daughter has got in, you know, in a lipstick compact or powder compact, and then it had a clear cover around it, so to try and reduce the amount of
That's well done, though, isn't it? Without even touching the side of the car.
The problem is, though, did you see what was inside it? Inside it is the cooling air flow going into the cockpit. And so losing that cowl around it means that will now stall, so there will be no cooling air going into the cockpit. There probably wasn't an awful lot to start with, but an awful lot less than not very much.
Yeah, just 3 minutes 20 to go. Tom Coronel's just outside the bubble at the moment. Oh, what was happening there?
Well, John Philippi coming up fully lit behind Jan Erlacher, and Erlacher not knowing that he was coming. So that's a bit of a team miscommunication.
That could be a bit of a trip to the steward's office, that one.
Well, you know, if the team don't tell him...
No, you've got mirrors, Martin.
Yeah.
Well, some of them have.
Yeah.
Jean Philippi's out at the moment. He's P14 at the moment.
Yeah,
he
needed that lap. Mind you, he wasn't even on a personal best. Mind you, that was the first sector, so he wouldn't have been. Tom Coronel's not on a personal best, but that's an out lap. Esteban Guerrieri, though, 11th at the moment. But he did bang in a 6th fastest lap early on, and he was 6th fastest in free practice 2 as well. Where was he in free practice 1? He was 9th, wasn't he? No, he wasn't. He was 7th. So he's been hovering around the fringes of the top 5 in both free practice sessions. So this could be a very important lap for Esteban and for Campos Racing, and showing that all that work that RML did now, what, 8, 9, nearly 10 years ago on this car, developing it from the Luchetti, is still working well.
It's a good lap, P9.
Yeah, 9th place from Esteban Guerrieri, and Tom Coronel on a flyer in his Chevy as well. Tom Coronel on a hot lap. Behind him, so too was Jan Erlacher. On board with Coronel. Now does the young Frenchman follow him through as well? And Erlacher not quite close enough to get any aerodynamic slipstream advantage, and the straights here are really quite short. So
it's just that confidence for one of the new drivers, following someone like Coronel into the braking areas. Wherever Tom brakes, you can just brake on the same, try and brake half a meter later. Just to try and get a bit more speed in.
Struggling for traction as the revs soared over the curbs. And Coronel 12th, so he's in at the moment in place of Daniel Nagy. He's only moved up 1 spot, but there's only a minute left. Look at the eyes. You know, that's how far ahead you have to try and look. And on an open circuit, you can do that. But, Matt, you can't really look round corners here the way that you need to place the car.
Yeah, Tom needs... Well, there's only 2 cars out, so I think he's safe. Everyone else is in. All behind him is in.
Nobody behind him is on track. So actually, Tom...
They need to pull him in and save the tyres.
Bail out. Well, he's got both mirrors attached to the car. He lost a mirror cover in free practice 2, the right-hand side one. And I have a feeling at the moment, actually, that might be a bit of a black. Look at the little dark line there left as the unladen rear eventually picks itself up off the track. So, final seconds, and it looks as though there will be no changes. Daniel Nagy, John Philippi and Aurelian Panis are going to be out of Q2.
Just pipped at the post, not quite into Q2. What's it like out there?
Yeah, first of all, it's a pretty nice circuit, and it was nice because seems we are competitive this weekend. And I think so far in my career I felt first time maybe we will be able to reach Q2, which is just unbelievable, and just thanks to these guys, you know, they are working very hard. And yeah, I came out of the track, like we went out of the Q1, and I just stand from my car, and they said, okay, go back, because we are actually in Q2 position, like 12. And I went back, and after that, they said, I think Coronel did a better time, but just at the last minute, and I was like, oh my God, it's a very, you know, interesting feeling, and I'm really looking forward to this weekend. And I think we can reach some points at the weekend.
But it has been a slightly trying start to the season for the Zengo Motorsport team, with an issue for Aurelian Panis that robbed him of the entire first free practice session. Daniel Nagy didn't quite get as many laps in, I think, as they would have liked. And as you heard there, Matt, he got out, think, OK, we're not through. Yeah, no, get back in the car. Right, rush, get your head back in, into gear, and trying to think about going out again. And then, oh, OK, Yeah, you've been pipped by Tom Curran. 1700ths of a second. That's not a lot.
No.
That's not a lot. What do we think? That's, you know, a couple of feet at the line, probably. Certainly not
40 centimetres.
Wow. Parc Fermé, do not touch. Aurélien Panis' car will now be waiting for tomorrow morning and tomorrow afternoon, indeed, and a chance to start his first ever World Touring Car race. Now, earlier on in free practice 1, when Aurélien was hovering around 10th position, we're saying, okay, if that were to happen in qualifying, then the rookie would be in the unenviable position of starting the opening race of his career and of the season on a street track that he's never raced on from pole position. Well, he won't have to worry about that for the time being. Unfamiliar colours, but underneath it, a familiar shape. Isn't it amazing how colour defines what you think a car looks like? If you didn't see the badge, it would take you a minute or two to recognise that under that red, white and blue colours, of course, of France, is a Lada, yeah. I mean, Lada's not exactly a traditional Russian colour, but it was the colour that we got used to seeing them in. But you take that colour cue away, and you see the red, white and blue from behind, you're going, okay, I'm not sure what that is.
Russian flag.
Well, also French flag. So it works both ways, because RC Motorsport is a Russian team and being run by the guys that ran the Ladas last year. So yes, it works both ways. The colours of the Russian Federation and the colours of the French Motorsport Federation, the FFSA, who've been very instrumental in getting Jan Erlacher into that Lada and into the championship.
Now, this is a really interesting session we're going into here, Martin, because this is actually going to be bragging rights. You know, who is going to be the top Citroën?
Yep.
Who is going to be the top Honda? And who is going to be the top Volvo? There's some big hitters in both teams. You know, Michelitz has now come up into one of the factory Castrol Hondas. You know, Thiago was there as the man last year. Michelitz, you know, doing the business, and he should have, but now he's there on real equal footing. There's people in both camps thinking one or the other. Katzberg's been vaulted into the Volvo for the first time. He was the man in the Ladas. So can he upset, you know, Bjorg and Girolami, who've got previous Volvo experience? And then you've got Huff, new man on the block for the Citroëns. You know, Chilton, Bonani, local hero Bonani, all got experience with the car, with the circuit. But it's going to be a real interesting few minutes here.
And it might give us our first genuine indication of potential race winners, because at the moment there are 10 names in the hat, and if you pick one, it's essentially at random.
Yeah, before this qualifying session, there were 3 camps, Honda, Citroën and Volvo, all with sort of fairly smug smiles on their faces, feeling pretty confident about the whole affair. So there might be a few glum boys at the end of the today.
Well, you know, you look at the 3 Volvos, all of them could easily win a race. You look at the 3 Hondas, all of them could easily win a race. Michigami, not yet, I would say. If he ended up winning a race, then I would be enormously surprised. I mean, the other thing with Michigami is, how many street races has he done? There are no Japanese street circuits. There aren't any.
Yeah.
You know, when was the last time he raced between barriers like this?
And right, and how many street circuits are on the WTCC calendar now? 2, 3?
3 at least, yeah. So
that's 25% of the season.
Yeah, and you know, he might think that Marrakesh is tough. He might think that Marrakesh is tough. Holy moly, when he gets to Villarreal.
And then Macau.
Villarreal, it's terrifyingly fast all the way round.
Yeah.
Macau's only terrifyingly fast half the way round. And the other half, it's scarily fast.
That's a good lap off Montero, but I still don't think it's quick enough.
Well, that's 2/10 slower than he's been already in Q1. Norby goes quicker. Now then, first 21.
Yeah.
There we go. Norby, new dad, bit between the teeth. Katzberg's looped it round, and that's down at whatever that turn number is, down at the end of the straight. Oh, no, it's not.
Oh.
All right, you don't need that bit. Right, yellow flags are out.
Oh!
And that's why Marshall's flags are so vital on a street circuit. because you cannot see round the corner that the track is blocked. Red flag. Right, now
That should be Katzberg out.
yes.
So it means he doesn't even make... Oh, he's stuck in 12th.
Yes,
No.
for both races.
Yeah.
Yes, he'll be 12th for both races if he's not allowed to continue in qualifying.
Well, if he gets it going...
Yeah, if he...
Under his own steam...
No, because he's brought out the red flags. Now,
It's a difficult one.
Neil? No, you can't watch because...
If he gets it going, OK, it's his fault the red flag's out, but...
Well, thanks to Jamie O'Leary at Castrol Honda, Ryo Michigami already has his best ever World Touring Car result if he's 12th, because his best previous was 15th.
Come on, Nicky, you've got to get that thing going.
Well, it doesn't matter now, I don't think, whether Nicky Katzberg can get going or not, because well, while they sort themselves out and rescue the car, I think that's the end of qualifying for him. Tom Coronel has overshot turn 7. Yellow flags are out. That was just behind Rob Huff.
So that means...
So that was a fairly gentle overshoot. He realised immediately that he'd got... I wonder if he's having braking problems again.
I think they're all having it. It is incredibly hard around here on brakes,
Yeah.
Martin, so... And this is not even, we're not even to a race situation yet. But a lot of them do run, they can run softer material pads just to try and get that extra bit of braking in the you know,
Yeah. More bite,
last
more
few-
instant bite, and they don't
they'll
have
go
the
to harder
last.
material for the races, but more higher temperature threshold, but with less braking capability.
Yeah.
But it'll last.
And there, can almost be a situation where you want to cover up the brake ducts as well, but I'm not sure that that's what you want here. I think you want every ounce of brake cooling that you can get.
Especially in this heat.
Yeah. So, Esteban Guerrieri, currently 11th, and he needs to get himself out of that position because that's where he would start both races. 11th and 12th in this session will be glued in.
Oh,
Whoa!
Katzberg's almost done it again.
No, he's had a Coronel moment there and recovers.
That's going to scrub speed off, though.
That's the long turn 3. That's slightly downhill as well as you come through that long right-hander and the car's all loaded up, and then you're trying to get it to brake and turn and load the other way.
I'll tell you what, fair play. It's still a good first sector considering that. It almost looks as though he's trying too hard now.
Yeah.
He's almost lost.
But don't forget, he hasn't got a lap in the bank. He has not set a time. This is his only lap.
Almost again, that rear does look loose.
Yeah. Have they not got any blue gaffer?
I think they're probably with 3 minutes 50 to go. They just want to get him out.
Yeah, they have.
7/10 would take him into the top 5. He just can't really afford to lose much more in sector 3. Here we come.
So Guerrieri, does he improve? No. Katzberg, fourth place. So, Honda, Citroen, Volvo.
And Banani, local hero, just out the top 5.
Huffy's up on the air jacks. He's not going again. Norby is out on track, but on a slow lap, so he'll be coming in. Katzberg will be coming in. Coronel is now 12th and is going out, and Jan Erlacher is going out as well to try and defend a top 10 spot, sitting behind Coronel. So Guerrieri is on track, Michigami's on track, Katzberg's coming in, Norby surely is coming in, he doesn't need to do any more. Interesting. So Girolami in 5th has just left the pits again in the Volvo, so he's got back out.
having another run at it as well. There's a few of them throwing the last
what's an outlap? An outlap is under 2 minutes, so you've got about another 30 seconds. If you leave the pit lane, you can get another hot lap in.
But if one of them has an overcooking moment,
Yep.
then the lap's gone for them all.
Oh, only if you're in the sector where the yellow flag comes out. And I'm not sure we
Or if
use
you'll be
Formula 1 deltas.
We are safe. Safe, no, because everybody's very close. But you see, the river is a lot of traffic now.
Well, if you sat in the pits now, Rob, it's too late, man.
Yeah. Are we safe? Well, that was, you know, 20 seconds ago, maybe half a minute ago. But are we safe? No, but there's a lot of traffic. So Jan Erlacher and Tom Coronel both on quick laps at the moment.
There's a whole bunch of them, sort of from 4th down to 8th, all within a 1/10 of a second. So that could move around very, very rapidly.
I thought Nicky Katzberg might be coming in. He hasn't. So he's completed a slow lap and he's on another one, or he's not on a quicker lap.
Chilton crosses the line to start his last flying lap now.
Yep. Yeah, 1:13. So anybody on a lap now?
Bjorg, what's he going to do?
Ooh, come on, Tom.
Ooh, bit of air.
Nicely done. Took even more of that sausage on the inside. And the problem is that pushes you out wide, so then you actually have to feather off the throttle. Oh, and overcooking by Jan Erlacher, but you can't expect Coronel to have slowed down there. There weren't even any flags out, but that has ruined Erlacher's lap. It wasn't a better one.
He's 9th at the moment, front row of the grid, Martin.
Yeah. But Coronel is on a better one, a 29.0 first sector. Ted Björk's just done a 28.9, so Coronel's on quite a good lap.
Girolami has done a 28.7. So
what's Tommy got? Not a great second sector. Does he go any better? 11th is not enough. Coronel does not get the reverse grid at the moment. Guerrieri is 10th, Erlacher is 9th. Hello, is this free practice 1? Jan Erlacher was 10th, Tom Coronel was 9th in free practice 1. Jan Erlacher was 13th in free practice 2. Tom Chilton was 10th. But Rio Michigami, previous best qualifying in World Touring Cars, 15th place. Currently lying 9th. And a personal better lap. And Girolami 3rd fastest, so he improves again, a personal best. And everybody's throwing everything at it. This is down at 11, overshoot by Ted Björk.
Michigami up to 9th, he's on the front row for race 1 at the minute.
Yep, so at the moment, we got an absolute first-timer making his debut on the first race pole, and Rio Michigami with a grand total of 1 World Touring Car race under his belt. Or is it 4? 4, possibly? 1. 1. He's done 1, hasn't he? Yes. He'll be on the outside of the front row at the moment.
He did a few of the Asian races last year, didn't he, Martin? Didn't he do Japan and China as well?
So, Benani just goes 4th, so he's in. So 2 Citroens now in the top 5. And has anybody got anything left? Benani trying to go by Ted Björk, but not really necessary. Checker flags out, so just cool your heels, come back in. Benani won't be the first to go out, he'll only be the second to go out, because at the moment Rob Huff, not safe, but in. And the checkered flag is out, nobody else on a quicker lap, so Rob Huff does just make it through. Only 0.12 of a second quicker than Nicky Katzberg, but Katzberg overcooked his final qualifying effort. So those top 5, Montero, Mikulits, Girolami, Benani and Huff go into Q3. And pole for his first ever World Championship race is that young man, Jan Erlacher. Did you ever? What a little surprise. So, no, Rio Michigami has only raced in Motegi, Japan, so just 2 World Touring Car starts to his name. But the man who starts on pole position, our DHL pole sitter for the opening race of the season, has never done a touring car race. Well, I suppose Scirocco Cup, touring cars, sort of, really, sort of, kind of. And if he's going to be feeling any nerves, I don't think we'll see it now.
I would say there's a mixed feeling there. 1, he's disappointed for being 10th. 2, he's absolutely crapping himself because he's going to be on pole tomorrow. And you know, he'll be pleased with the pole, obviously, but you know, personally, you would rather be 6th or 5th further up the grid, because it's a self-motivational thing, isn't it?
Late deal, unknown car, unknown team, unknown track. pole position for your first ever race? Can't be disappointed, can you? Well, let's hear if he is or not. He's with Alex Legui. Let's catch up with our DHL pole sitter, Jan Erlacher.
Jan Erlacher, you are pole for our opening race. I can't read your expression. What's going on here?
Sorry, but I can't say it's a pole position. Pole position for me, it's third place in qualifying. For sure, I'm happy to be in the top 10, to start in the front row tomorrow, but for me, it's not a pole position.
Oh, you are tough on yourself.
No, it's not tough. I just want to be even better after every session, and P10 is quite good, but P1 is better.
Tell us, though, you're going to sit on the front row of the grid, your first World Touring Car race. That is good.
Yeah, that is good, yeah. It's the first one, yeah, tomorrow, my first touring car race on front row, but yeah, gonna be good. I have to do a good start. That's something I have not so much experience about that. So yeah, we'll see tomorrow.
Do you think there'll be nerves?
No.
Easy.
Yeah, the only, like someone say, the only pressure I have is in my tire.
Cool as a cucumber. Well done, Jan.
Thank you.
See what I mean about this kid? I love this kid already. What a great find he's been. And if you close your eyes, he sounds like Ivan. He even thinks like Ivan. Those family racing Rob Huff heads out on his own into Q3. Last few times he's done this, he's been part of the Honda team, now an independent driver. And we've never had a driver come from racing as an independent to be a world champion. There are several contenders for this year's title who could do that. Mehdi Benani started his career as an independent. He might end up as the world champion this year. He's armed with a Citroen. Norbo Michaelis started as an independent. He, like Mehdi, began in the junior ranks, if you like, in World Touring Cars. He could end up as world champion this year. Rob Huff didn't start as an independent, but as an independent driver, he might end up as the world champion and independent champion, and that's never happened before either. So all sorts of possibilities. Track temperature 49 degrees. I was estimating it might be a little higher, but then the wind has picked up a bit this afternoon, so maybe that's helping with the cooling. Matt Neal, when you've only got one lap, I mean, this is a very unusual way of going qualifying for a driver. Every time you do a qualifying lap, that you only have one lap in your mind, but here you only have one lap and no second chances. So how much does that change the mental frame in his head?
Yeah, I mean, one thing they do have is they have tyre warmers, so the car's going to, extra set of tyres, so the car should feel absolutely bob on. All he's got to do is make sure they're in, feel the level of grip in the circuit at the time, and then just hang it out. I mean, we used to have one-lap shootout in Super Touring back in the day, and it's no different to that, but you can't afford to leave anything on the table. The problem is it's a street circuit which doesn't take prisoners, so if you do overcook it, at least when you're going fifth, you've got the targets, whether to play safe. Others could have made mistakes in front of you. Where Huffy is going now, he can't afford to leave anything on the table. Otherwise he'll be mid-pack for both races.
Yeah, it's the worst
or nothing.
Yeah, the worst of both effects, isn't it? You're 6th and 5th or 5th and 6th, so yeah, doesn't work well. Pit lane is open now for Mehdi Benani to head out and start his warming up lap as Rob Huff goes 29.02. That's a very, very good first sector. You saw...
Quick enough though, Martin. You've got to be well into the 28s.
But is that what there is in the track now?
Well,
now don't forget, this is only the first time in real hot blood that he has done a single lap shootout in this car. But has the temperature risen? Is it now too hot to get a low 1:21 out of the car? We'll wait and see. Unfortunately, our timing screen clears off all the previous sectors when we get to Q3. 1:22.3, that should not be enough for pole, but Yeah, Mum crosses her fingers.
22.3, 22.3.
Might be second row if he's lucky.
So how much of a step have Honda and Volvo made? Because the Citroens, the previously all-conquering car run by Citroen Sport as factory cars, there are two of them through into Q3. Rob Huff's had his run, Mehdi Benani about to have his. And as Benani starts his hot lap, Huffy will be on a cooling down lap. So we get Rob's split as a guide. And we'll know whether Benani is ahead or behind. Minus on the split time means he's in front, plus means he's behind.
Benani always seems to find that little bit extra around here, doesn't he?
Yeah. But it's going to be, you know, it's going to be a hugely emotional weekend for him to be here with his mum, with the rest of the family around, but without his dad, who sadly passed away. 81 thousandths of a second quicker, but overcommits into the chicane.
I don't know, Martin. He got out of there pretty well.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's fast enough. Again, just to be only that much faster. But is that a trait of the Citroen? The Citroen's obviously carrying weight this weekend.
50 kilos.
None of the other manufacturers are.
Exactly.
Citroen's last chance to get up on the front row, though.
Smoke out of the tyres as he goes from one side of the car balance-wise to the other, trying to cool it and break it. 19 thousandths behind.
He needs a strong sector 3.
Ooh. And across the line.
Ah, lost it, sector 3.
Yeah, 10th behind.
Ok, Mehdi, on a perdu un dixième dans le secteur 3. C'était plus vite secteur 1 et secteur 2, pareil. 22-4, ça fait 22-3.
So they're saying,
Et box à la fin du tour.
saying you lost it in sector 3, you were quicker in the first, about the same in the second. Mehdi's radio not sounding very good there, is it? Hard to understand what he was saying. So, Nesta Girolami then. What are we going to get from him? So, we got Great Britain, Morocco, Argentina, Hungary and Portugal represented. That's an interesting Football World Cup group. Not sure I'd like to pick which three would go through out of that group either in the Football World Cup. Not sure he'd make very many friends.
Yeah, Girolami, the lone Volvo in the top 5 now, so he's got it all to do. Katzberg and Bjorg promised lots, but didn't manage to make it.
Oh, big smoky lockup, but again, you're dripping down over the rise, going from one laden side to the other, trying to get the car slowed down.
He's out of there well. He's got out of there well. Is he carrying some damage on one of the rear corners of that, did I see?
Might be. So there's Rob Huff in the Munich Motorsport Garage. Currently fastest.
Well, Huffy's guaranteed a second row place anyway.
Girolami is quicker at the moment, but then don't forget, so was Mehdi Benani. Girolami is 2/10 quicker than Mehdi was in the first sector, though.
Oh, good 2/10 up, yeah.
Yeah.
Strong first sector. This could threaten the Hondas if they're not careful.
So Girolami was 3/10 ahead of Huffy in that first sector, or 2.5. He's now 4.5. This is a very good. Is this a front row lap from Nesta Girolami across the line? Top speed 1:22.03.
He lost it in that last sector. It's a good lap, but is it good enough?
Rob's engineer from last year.
Thank you very much.
So, yeah, Rob's old engineer, engineering Nesta Girolami to go faster than Huff. Volvo lead, 2 cars to go, both are Hondas.
That could have been a ballistic lap, Martin, but he lost 2/10 to Huffy in the last sector.
Yeah.
So, 2 Castrol Hondas to go.
And Don't forget, in qualifying last year in the top 5 shootout in Q3, Honda went 1-2-3. At the moment, your front row is Girolami and Huff. But we've got Norby and Thiago still to go. Qualifying record, 1:22.024. Current fastest lap, 1:22.031. So Girolami has not set a new qualifying record. That lap record set by Jose Maria Lopez last year in the Citroën was only good enough for 4th place. So why was the 1:21 that went to the pole man not the official lap record? Because Honda were excluded from the race at a later date over an argument about the use of flat floors. So Norby, a green first sector at 28.98 compared to Girolami's 28.77. So 2/10ths back becomes 1600ths back. That's the best second sector we've seen. Can new dad Norby put the Honda on top of the pile? Across the line he comes, going to be very close. Where does he go? Second by 66 thousandths. Nestor Girolami is going to start on the front row of the main race. Don't forget, more points now for the main race.
Wasn't brave enough in sector 1.
22.09.
Well, it is the quickest lap he has done. Girolami.
You'll be disappointed with that.
Yeah. Girolami has outpaced himself by quite some margin. 24.0 in FP1, Girolami, 23.4 in FP2, and now 22.0 in Q3.
Now, if I was a betting man before this qualification started, I'd have put money on the Hondas for pole. So, Thiago, even though I haven't put money on in myself, bet against myself, Thiago needs to step up to the plate now.
Yes, he does, doesn't he? Well, it's a good indication of the potential of the Volvo package. Wherever Girolami finishes at the end of this lap, he's going to be starting the main race on the front row of the grid.
Okay, that's better sector 1 off Montero.
But not better than Girolami. 6 thousandths of a second behind him.
Yeah,
7 thousandths of a second to blink your eye.
2/10ths up on Michelin's.
Yeah.
So if the car's got the same attributes as Norby's in the second and third sectors, pole is on here.
Girolami fastest in sector 1, Norby fastest in sector 2, Huff fastest in sector 3.
Got out of there cleanly, good traction.
Oh, 1200s up. Thiago might be saving your bacon here.
Yeah, the Honda was strong in sector 3 as well. One little squirt,
yeah.
Final 90-degree right-hander.
Very short third sector. Comes across the line and pole position for Thiago Montero by nearly a quarter of a second. Honda on top, Volvo second, Honda, Citroën. That is your top 5 for the main race in Morocco. There you go. A very happy Thiago.
Good job, very good job.
And a very happy Yas Honda team. So the Castrol Honda starts on pole position. And the Mugen engineers who produced the power unit for this car are happy with that as well. So Thiago Montero will be the DHL pole sitter for the main race in the opening weekend of the World Touring Car Championship here Sunday afternoon in Marrakesh. And Nestor Girolami, the multiple Argentine touring car champion. Hello, have we been here before? Girolami will start on the outside of the front row, but your championship leader is now Thiago Montero.